Hello. Welcome to my parlor of wonders, as I call it, commercially. Honestly, it's just a very strangely decorated room where I indulge in my laughable interests in woo-woo magical stuff. It's very nice to meet you. I hope you are well. I hope you are ready for a lesson in tarot card readings, one of many spiritual services that can be offered, though my favorite to perform. So, to start, fortune telling is definitely something that's quite stereotyped. I am here to tell you right now, and I'm not ashamed to say it because it's true. You can never 100% predict the future. I like to think of tarot card readings like weather reports. The weatherman knows that their predictions are never going to be 100% accurate. But it is an entire career because it helps people. It definitely helps to know if there's a chance of it raining the next day, then not. It definitely helps someone prepare if they know that there's probably being the operative word, a temperature drop the next day. And no one can be too upset when the weatherman is not 100% accurate. You hear people talking about it all the time, like, oh, they said it was going to be partly cloudy with a chance of snow. But it's not. But oh well, you know? So I always like to tell people when they ask me the annoying question of, how am I gonna die? That I cannot tell you. I mean, there are like life calculators online that you can plug in some information to get a rough estimate of when you're gonna pass away. But again, that's still a rough estimate. There's really no telling when and how you're destined to die, supposed to die, going to die. No. So, another important thing to know with tarot is to never waste magic on the mundane. That is something very important to know about fortune telling in general. And just any form of witchcraft. Never waste magic on the mundane. And so when people ask tarot cards things like, what's the weather tomorrow? Should I eat an apple for lunch? Heck if I know. Google it. Exactly, you know? So, the best types of things to ask a deck of cards. Because cards are just one way that spirits can communicate with us. Are things that are important to life's development, or things that will actually change the course of your life as you know it. So, things like career changes, relationship troubles, general advice for making important decisions with family, friendships, that sort of thing. Relationship readings are my favorite because I find that the spirits are the most filled with attitude when it comes to relationship readings. Each deck of cards has its own type of personality. Mine happen to be a little more on the edgy, sassy side. There is a superstition that someone has to gift you your deck, which I can't tell if that really makes a difference or not, but I was coincidentally gifted mine, so there are 22 major Arcana cards, all representing a stage in the Fool's Journey, a concept very important in Jungian psychology. And then there are 56 minor Arcana cards. There are 4 suits in the minor Arcana. That is swords, wands, pentacles, and cups. And each suit stands for something that helps a person live life. So, for example, wands symbolize creativity, willpower, passion, and the element they're associated with is fire. Now, when doing a reading, there are different ways to draw cards. I personally like the way of shuffling cards while focusing all of my energy into them as the person asks the question and elaborates on what they would like read, and then watching as cards fall out and see which ones fall out and how many fall out before the deck just stops giving answers. Another way is by spreading them out. This way you've probably seen more often. You shuffle them and you spread them out into like a semicircle, like an arc on the table. And while focusing on the question, either you draw out the cards or the other person does if you aren't someone who is sensitive about other people touching your cards. Sometimes at a given time in your life, there will be a certain card or two that will keep appearing. And if it keeps appearing, you have to work on whatever that is. So for the longest time, one card that never left me alone was the 3 of Swords, which symbolizes backstabbing, heartbreak, betrayal. The card is literally a picture of a heart with 3 swords stabbing into it. Pleasant, I know. And so that was an aspect in my life I needed to work on, letting things go. And whether or not I forgave or forgot, I just had to be able to move on. And after a while, one day, I did a reading on myself, and that card came up, but it came up reversed, meaning that I'm moving on. So, upright and reversed. When a card lands upright, there's this conception that just always means a good thing. Not necessarily. Depending on the card, if it's upright, that can mean a bad thing. So, like I said, the 3 of Swords. And then, of course, vice versa, there's the conception that reversed always means bad. Again, that doesn't always mean bad. But more often than not, it can. The absolute best card you can get in any rating is the Sun card. It is a major Arcana card that represents just pure joy, happiness, everything agreeing in your life. So much happiness in one card, which means it's one of the cards that is the most detrimental to get reversed, in my opinion. The moment you see it reversed, you immediately think, oh no, that's a lot of sadness and despair. Another card like that is the Tower. I'd say the Tower card it's the disaster card. It doesn't necessarily mean everything's going to end, but it just means something unpleasant and sudden and downturning is on the horizon. I'd say it is the worst to get in a relationship rating, especially compatibility. If you see the Tower in a compatibility reading, that's a sign to maybe not. The Death card is one that's very misconceptualized. It does not mean dying. Fun fact, it's called the Arcana with no name. It symbolizes transformation, going from one state of being to the next. For example, when you were a little infant, you couldn't do much more than roll around. But then eventually you could crawl, then you could walk. And that is a form of changing from one state of being to the next. It's the end of the little infant in arms stage, and you're going to the walking toddler, and you can never go back to the infant in arms stage. Death card symbolizes going to a place you're never coming back from. So if you get it in a career reading, say you're asking me about a shift in your career. This is something my mother was asking about the other day, but she didn't draw the death card. And if you drew the death card in that situation, that would probably mean you are making a huge transformation in your career, but you're never going back to whatever it was you're leaving. Ever. I think that is the most important thing to know about the death card. And probably why it's called death. Or at least why death was chosen to symbolize that. One card that doesn't have too many stereotypes attached to it, but it was the card I had the most trouble figuring out when I was still learning tarot, is the Justice card. Justice has a very vague name for what it really stands for. Yes, it stands for justice, but it more stands for fairness. I think the best way to describe it is the right answer or the fairest answer to any issue may not always be the one you like the best. So it's a very in-your-face kind of truth card. And it's more about cause and effect than it is about accountability, in my opinion. The time where it really clicked for me was when a friend of mine was really worrying about an exam that she and her significant other had coming up. And she didn't have a lot of time, so she just had me do a one-card reading. Just one card, and it was justice. And I told her, I can't tell you whether it will go well or not, because your opinion of whether or not it will go well will probably be different than anyone else's, including the spirits. So the spirits are telling you that it's more going to be like a situation of karma. Everything you've put towards will produce a result, and whatever that result is will be the fairest one. But that doesn't guarantee you'll like it. And finally, since we do have a dinner date soon, my favorite card to draw in any reading is the Nine of Cups. Because the moment I see it, I immediately understand. It symbolizes satisfaction and gratitude in life. It has the nickname of the Wish card. Kind of like the stars are aligning and all of what you want is coming true. It's a man sitting down with a smile on his face, surrounded by these cups, and he's very happy. However, when the card shows up reversed, it can mean happiness still, but it's more of a different tone. So you're still not satisfied. And therefore you might be indulging in what you like. And that's not always a good thing. In fact, it's kind of a bad thing if you think about it. But the way I see it is any cups card that's reversed, you imagine whatever's inside those cups draining out. Cups represent emotions, feelings, just a lot of inner power. This is why the minor arcana cards are kind of called like the trump cards. Like, oh, you got this major arcana card. That's a part of the fool's journey. Oh, wow. What else? And so the even more detailed minor arcana, when they're pulled out, they can add more to the situation so that you can learn more about what's going on and what exactly it is you might want to do to get to where you want to be in life. Because this is the only life you've got. So that's why I love tarot as a form of guidance. All right. The sky is starting to darken a little, and I believe you now owe me a dinner date. So let's head on out. Talk more about it there, shall we? I'm thrilled. I can't wait to see what you'll be able to do. Hello, hello, everyone. It's Lucid, and Happy New Year. Thank you for listening to this new video. I am so sorry that I haven't uploaded in so long. School has been much crazier than I thought it was going to be. I cleared my schedule as much as I could and everything, and it's still been so much, but it's been a nice winter break I've had, and I am so excited to be uploading more this coming year. Just want to thank you all for making 2021 such a special year for me. Every person who is listening to this video, you have no idea how much each and every one of you have meant and do mean to me. I'd like to just thank everyone I've met through ASMR during 2021 for changing my life for the better and just I have a lot of thank yous to just give out everywhere. I could never finish, but just this is just all just a huge thank you. And I hope wherever you are, you have a fantastic day, night, whatever. Alrighty. I wasn't lying in that video. I do actually have to eat dinner now. But yeah. Thank you all. And again, Happy New Year. Bye bye.